Okay, it's Alec the Catholic. I'm back at it again with another reaction video, this time from 21 Pilots, becoming a channel favorite here. Ode to Sleep, live at the Newport Music Hall. I picked the live version. 21 Pilots, I love their live stuff so far. Their live stuff just seems to have a lot more passion and character and texture to it. These guys are really passionate about their music. I have the lyrics pulled up in front of me. That way I can digest all of this and I don't get lost and I don't miss something important. I'm not going to get it all, probably, but I think I'll be able to grasp at least more as I study the song lyrics along with listening to it. So let's get into it.
Then I feel my soul start leaving like an old missing receipt. I'm pleading, please don't please on my knees repeatedly, asking why it's got to be like this. It's living free. I don't want to be the one with the sun blood of my hands out to the moon. Take this weapon for the darkness. I see a harpoon.
I see a harpoon. Some see a pen. I see harpoon. Look, I love how creative Tyler is. I learned the names. That's Tyler. That's Josh. Tyler is the singer. Josh is the drummer. You guys have been educating me, so I'm learning. But I love Tyler's lyrics. I love the way he does this. Like, his flow is so unique. It's so different than anything else I've ever heard. Like spoken word poetry. But for him to end his verse with the word harpoon, if y'all don't know what a harpoon is, a harpoon is like a spear. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's a whaling weapon. You would spear whales with a harpoon. You'd have harpooners on your ship if you were in a whaling ship. Moby Dick, they're a whaling ship. They have a harpoonist on board, a couple of them, and it's like a half stick, half metal tip. Half metal shaft, and then there's the actual spear point at the end, but it has like these really sharp teeth in it, so that when it gets into the whale, it doesn't come out. And they would harpoon whales with like 20 or 30 harpoons, all with ropes attached to them. And then the whale, they would just let the whale pull the ship, and they would ride out the whale till the whale bled to death. Basically, horrible. So he's got blood on his hands. He's talking about all kinds of stuff. It's really hard for me to understand exactly what he's talking about in this first one. Take this weapon forged in darkness. Some see a pen, I see a harpoon. So he's talking about the pen. And I think he's talking about writing on his knees repeatedly. Why has it got to be like this? Is this living free? It's like he can't. It's like he can't control himself. Like, all this stuff is happening. He goes all the way up to the ceiling and he crashes. He's going through all these emotions all while he's writing. Right? Either that or this is all a dream. In his dream, his pen became a harpoon. Man, okay.
Hello, Newport. Let's go!
But why won't you let you? Why don't you let me go? Do I threaten all your plans? I'm insignificant. Please tell him you have no plans for me. I will set my soul on fire. What if I become? I'll tell him. Oh man, I don't know exactly what he's talking about here. I'll be honest. In the I got kind of thrown off because the lyrics that I have here don't match what his the second half of the first verse. Um, he didn't say all the same things. Um, it's like he pulled out a whole new verse for this performance, which is really cool. If that's what happened, if that's really cool, if that's what he did, then that's crazy cool. Um, I don't see that every day, you know. But then no, I think he did also mention demons in this and in the verse there. So maybe I just got lost. Um, oh man, but it's the chorus. It's really happy. It's really joyful. It sounds like he's just frolicking through the fields of flowers, and he's just. I'll tell him. I'll set my soul on fire. It's just I love the it's like mad scientisty. It's really maniacal. It's really twisted, but it's also very fun. It's nice. It's a nice little line. I don't know exactly what he's talking about. I'll be honest. I'm kind of lost at the moment, but I think if I continue to digest it, I'll start to get it. So, let's go. Oh, the synth.
On the eve of a day that's forgotten, the fake is the truth, they aware cause it dissipate. The start of a day when we're put on our face, a mess of a trace that we don't need grace. On the eve of a day that is bigger than us, but we open our eyes cause we're told that we must on the trees and the roses and the culture to plead. That's really yelling, it's something we need. I'm not free, that's forgiveness free. Time, shame, I'm out to that deep. Not our free time as we feed this crime. I'm afraid to tell you who I am, so I won't take home singing towards metaphoric. I'm a whore and that's enough.
Okay. Okay, it was very fast, so the bro can rap at a beat per minute that I would never in my lifetime be able to achieve. I cannot rap. I don't. I've tried maybe like once or twice. I can't even keep up like in a regular song. So it's just that's skill. That's some talent right there. And he's talking about all these different metaphorical things. So much language that's just like a mask that portrays that we don't need grace. I mean, so like, that's a religious. That's a religious point right there. Religious concept, grace. Um, in Christianity, we believe that everyone needs grace, saving grace, actual grace, sanctifying grace. There's all different kinds of grace that God gives, and grace is really just God's love, boiled down. So yeah, we all need grace. That's what we believe as Catholics and Christians. But we put on a mask. Uh, Christians, Catholics, religious people are probably the most notorious for this, where they put on a mask. And I'm speaking from my personal experience. I put on a mask a lot, I'll often. I hope I'm not doing that for you guys. I try not to. I try to be as honest with my students, with my wife, with everyone that I meet as I can be. I'm not trying to hide, what's going on here. I need that grace too. I really do. Um, but I think it can be easy for people on the outside seeing you in your ministry, seeing you go to church, seeing you say your prayers, at church or during a certain event or something like that. Like people can, or hearing you talk or teach or preach, they can assume that it's like, wow, this is such a holy person, and the assumption is kind of like this guy's made it, he's done, like heaven is his, and it's like no, it you always need God's grace in some way, shape, or form. Like you will never be perfect until you're perfect like the Heavenly Father is perfect. So I really love the fact that he actually pulled that into this verse, and like it's so fast. You probably I would have never ever heard that had I not actually had the lyrics up in front of me on my phone, which is such a good idea. Thank you, subscribers. Great idea. Uh, he's like, I'm not free. I asked forgiveness 3 times, same amount that I denied. Now, again, another religious reference there. Saint Peter, Peter in one of the Gospels. I don't remember exactly which Gospel. I don't know my Bible as well as other Christians do. It's a shame, shame, but I'm working on it. But I do know that Peter denied Christ 3 times. 3 times he was asked if he knew Jesus, and 3 times he said, "No, I don't. I've never heard of the guy." And then a cock crows, a rooster crows, after the third time, like Jesus promised him or foretold. He prophesied that that would happen, and when it did come true, Peter wept bitterly. So he's saying that he denied something 3 times. And I think it would make sense that if he's talking about God specifically in this case, because he asked forgiveness 3 times. 3 times I MVP'd this crime. He did it better than everyone else on the team of deniers. Is what he's saying there. That's deep. That's really deep. I'm afraid to tell you who I adore. Oh, dang, Tyler, bro, like your fans know you don't need to be ashamed or afraid of it. And man, now it's like I'm talking to Tyler. I don't like. I'll ask you guys. A lot of you who watch my videos are TOP fans, and have been sharing with me so much about these guys, and I really appreciate all your feedback. And some of you are not religious and don't have any religious affiliation, but you appreciate, from what I've read in the comments, you guys appreciate kind of their just honesty and their perspective and their way of their poetry, their art, what they're doing here. And I don't think any of you would be offended at all if he just came out and said, "Yeah, I worship God, like I worship Jesus, and I love Him." They'd probably be like, "Oh, cool, bro, you do you." Like, okay, just keep making good music. Like that's okay. That you do whatever you want. Just keep making stuff like this, and we'll be happy. We'll be fine. Won't tell you who I'm singing towards. Oh, dang. I think he just told us who he's singing about in this song. I mean, okay, so look, I could also be reading into this from my own perspective. So it's possible, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt here, that like it's possible he's not even singing about God. He could be talking about a person in his life. And anyone listening to this, religious, non-religious, could totally do the same thing. Where you could get introspective and ask yourself, have I been in a position where someone I know needed me and I just straight up denied them, and I knew it was bad and I regret it, and like I really should ask that person for forgiveness? Have I been ashamed of someone in my life who I should never have been ashamed of? I think for families who have someone in their family who has like a developmental disorder like autism or Down syndrome, I had someone like that in my family, a family friend of ours, and that's something that I remember struggling with as a kid and as a teenager, was going out with him in public places, because that's the hardest situation to be in, and he's severely autistic. He's like semi-functional, but he's to the point where he definitely doesn't get social cues, doesn't know personal boundaries, things like that. And so he would do things that were, for me, it was like, oh, it's embarrassing, but it's like you can't stop loving him, and you got to show people, show the world, like this is still a person, and this is someone who is worthy of love and has dignity and should be given all the care and all of the accommodations that they need in order to try and succeed and to be functional. And because they do deliver so much beauty and happiness to their parents, their family members, and to anyone in the world who sees them in, we would take him bowling, and he would bowl, and he bowled better games than all of us. Like it's amazing the ability that he has, even though it's hard for him to function in other things. So very cool, and I appreciate and I respect his. Yeah, I appreciate having him in my life, and I respect anyone who has a family member like that. He so that's I. This could be talking about something like that. Was there a time where you were embarrassed? You're like, I wish I wasn't with this person right now. And they don't have to have a mental disorder necessarily. It could just be a friend who just was being careless or stupid sometime. Um, so I love the depth here. The depth here. It could be as deep as Jesus Christ himself, or it could be as just simple as Jesus in someone else. Because Jesus isn't everybody, so yeah, could be that. So it very cool, very cool. Let's keep going, man. Tyler. Okay, now I'm stopping here just because it. I was like, oh, I gotta talk about this. I'm kind of getting an impression of what I think he might be talking about here, and you tell me if I'm wrong. If Tyler's come out and talked about the song specifically, and what he's speaking about when he's saying tell who is was my question, and I realized that he's referenced demons twice now, and voices and demons and voices in his head, and so is he talking to the demons? So in Christianity we have angels and we have demons. Demons are fallen angels. Angels, they're God's workers in the natural world, in the universe. They do things. They guard us. There are nine choirs of them. They're everywhere. They do so much good in the world, right? Demons they had jobs, and now they don't have those jobs anymore. Now, um, they come. We understand them as tempters, right? Satan is the worst of them all. He's like the father of all the demons. He led them all in this great revolt, right? So that's the understanding we have of angels and demons. The demons are going to lose. Their end game is they lose, but they're so proud, so arrogant that they refuse to quit, and they made their choice for eternity. So they're stuck, and they're very proud and they're very stupid. But we do believe as Catholics that they do kind of, they're not everywhere. We don't believe that they're like, oh, you gotta wear like sage and ward off the demons. Like, no, not it's not like that. We do believe um, that they can sometimes do some things that are annoying. But we have exorcists, we have prayers, we have different sacraments and things that we do that basically render them useless, and we treat them like the common cold. And it's something that the church doesn't talk about a lot. We don't. It's not a popular thing, and frankly, we don't want to give it a lot of popularity. because they don't deserve our attention. So I don't think he's saying that he's got some kind of possession problem, but I think this he's using the metaphor of demons. He probably understands, or at least the idea of demons, that they kind of tempt you to do evil. They can annoy you. They can make your life a little more difficult. That kind of thing. And they tempt you to despair sometimes. That's the biggest thing I think that he might be talking about, is this temptation to despair. Uh, and because of all the guilt maybe he's got with this denial, this the fact that this guilt he feels for denying someone who he adores, or he's being ashamed or embarrassed of singing to or singing about someone who he really wants to talk to you about, but he feels like he can't. So what does he want to tell the demons? He wants to tell them, why won't you let me go? Do I threaten all your plans? Like, really? Like, why are you tempting me, demon? Why me? I'm just one person. Is it really going to ruin all your plans of taking as many souls as you can if you just let me, one guy, go? I'm insignificant. Please tell him. Now he's saying, please tell him, no, no, no. Actually, I'm going to stop negotiating. You have no plans for me. I'll set my own soul on fire, which means it's not going to be here for you. And maybe he's talking about setting it on fire with the fire of the Holy Spirit, of God himself, of the fire of love. I'm going to set it on fire. Now what have I become? I will tell him. For me, that makes a lot of sense. And that's really cool if that's what he's actually saying. If not, I mean, you can still take this as a metaphor for the world. Telling people who want to control you, or to control him, like who trying to control his music. Like, come on, like, I'm just one guy, one artist. Is it really going to ruin your brand? If I make a song about this, if I make a song about Jesus, if I make a song about something I really want to talk about, please just let me go. No, 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 you don't have any plans for me. I'm going to set my soul on fire, and you're not going to be able to do anything. I didn't sell my soul to this corporation or this industry or this crowd or this market. Like, I'm free here to do what I got to do. There's so much depth to this music. It's ridiculous. It's awesome. So thank you for pushing me to listen and to react to these guys. This is awesome. I'm becoming a TOP fan, a big one. Johnny Cash is Hurt. Nine Inch Nails, the original Hurt song from Nine Inch Nails. That line, what have I become? My sweetest friend. I have a video that I broke down Hurt. I don't know if anyone's seen it. It's on my channel. It's gotten like the fewest views ever. But I geek out over that song. I love that song. So for me to hear this line, what have I become? And then to end it with, I'm sorry. Like, man, yeah, this is definitely like King David's Lamentations, man. King David's Lamentations. He, like, Tyler must read his Psalms. It's so cool. But it doesn't matter too. It does. I think it matters for me. I appreciate it, and I love to see the truth being shared. I love to see honesty. And I think God is the truth. I think Jesus is the truth, the way, the life. And I think that he's communicating truths here. And you can take a truth as in its totality, or you can take it in pieces. Some people aren't going to see the forest, they're going to see a couple trees, you know. And it's not bad to say, okay, yeah, he's talking about Jesus here, but I took something from it that had like a no religious meaning at all, but it's still true. Like this attitude, I think, is a good attitude to have. This position is a great position to have. This perspective, everyone in this world should have this perspective of, I will, you know, everyone else's plans for me don't matter. It does not matter what everyone else's plans are for me. I'm going to set my own soul on fire. I'm going to have drive. I'm going to be lit up with passion and just a desire to achieve my end in what it is I set out to do. I have plans, my plans. You don't have any plans for me. Because to you, I'm insignificant. Nobody cares about you as much as you care about yourself. And that's probably appropriate. That's the way it should be. So, but this is so cool to see this. Uh, it's really cool. I'm excited to see the next one. I think I have a couple of other ones I'm going to be doing from them. So I will catch you in the next one. If you hear some strange noises in the background, that's my wife doing sewing. She's into sewing. So if you guys have sewing tips, tricks, share them with me. Let me know what I could pass on to my wife. She would love that. So anyway, thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Loved doing this with you guys. Let's do another one. Peace.